I'm telling you that there's a 4-year tempo and an every year tempo, and these things cycle, and that's what we're in. And I've been through this, not just for the 17 years that the company's been around in terms of the fitness business, but I've been through this in my 30 years in the infomercial business and in direct marketing. And that's what we're doing. We're marketing directly to people versus through the retail channels. The opportunity is huge. And we just need to hang in there and work through this and make sure that we look at the fundamentals. So let's actually do, does anybody actually have, because I could do this all day. Are there burning questions that anybody has that would help us, I'll probably take one question and go there another half hour. But is there anything, because I don't want to miss anything before I just keep talking. Look, I answered everything in one minute.
Any questions?
Yes.
Just wait for the mic right behind you.
I was in Pittsburgh last weekend when you talked and you gave that analogy about the box.
Yes.
What's in the box? Can you do that again?
Okay. So, yeah, and I'll try not to trump what is, I can't even say that word anymore. It just has a whole connotation. I'm not saying you're making any choices, but although I probably am, so the point that I made was, I'll tell a little bit more of the backstory. When we have a joke, Jeff and I have a joke that whenever I give a speech, Jeff will ask me, how did the speech go? And how did you do the speech? And I was like, I felt like it was pretty good. He was like, it was about a 7. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Jeff. And that happened because one time I was at a executives, an industry sort of convention for executives in network marketing. And my topic was what makes for a good network marketing product. And now I was talking to executives of other network marketing companies. So the point that I made, and I'll obviously give you the digested version, is that you've got a box of product that you sell. Now most network marketing companies, and even at the beginning of our network marketing company, we had a lot of advice that what we needed to lead with, the tip of the spear, as it were, needs to be the financial opportunity. The promise that we made to the founding coaches who were loyal Beachbody fans and members of our message boards and community, they were like, please don't destroy the beautiful thing of our community that is about people helping people by making it about people using people for financial gain. And I was like, that was our promise. And so when I gave this speech to this group of network marketing executives, the point that I made was, what makes for a great multi-level marketing product or a peer-to-peer selling product is something that's a box of something that people have such an incredible passion for and belief in, that they would recommend it to friends and family with passion and enthusiasm and try to get them to buy it, regardless of whether there was a comp plan associated with it or not. And that's the kind of thing that you can ask people who are not salespeople, who are not self-starters in business, not CEOs in training, but they're just people that care about a product. And I think we've achieved that with our product, with our Shakeology. This was outrageously compelling formulation that is constantly, there's a battle. You don't even know about the battle that happens in El Segundo at our R&D facility about how to make that better, how to also make sure that the pricing structure doesn't change, because you can always make it better and raise the price. But the price needs to be there. It needs to taste a certain way. It needs to deliver on the promise, and people need to be able to experience something. That in that box, people who give that 30 days believe in it. So that was the test for me of what is a good network marketing product. And so I said to this group of executives, I said, I think that if there's a problem that the network marketing business has in general is people are marketing, there's this box, and you've got to buy 10 of them, and then get 10 of your friends to buy that box, and then they'll get their 10 friends to buy that box, and everybody is buying the box, and they're getting their 10 boxes in the garage, and some of them are selling 5 of them, and some of them are selling 2 of them, and some of them just have 10 boxes in their garage, and they use it to hold their treadmill up or whatever, and then they've got the box. And then, so they're doing this month after month and month, and at one point, Uncle John says, hey, by the way, what's in that box? And you go, doesn't matter, we're making money, just sell the box. And I never want to be in that business, because I want to be able to say to Uncle John, that thing's going to change your life. And that's where it's got to start. So our job always has to be, we lead with the quality of what's in the box. Now, just to punctuate the story, if you remember Brett Blake, who was our general manager at the time, he came up to me in the hallway, and I felt pretty good, you know. But he was sensitive to the audience that I was talking to, where I told him that their boxes were empty, and he wanted us to look good, like he wanted us to look good in front of the industry. And I said, so, you know, how'd it go? And just like Brett goes, it's about a 7. She did about a 7 there. I was like, a 7? Really? So now that is the score that Jeff gives me. But did I hit? So and I think that's important because, and I think that now, again, we're going to repeat some of what we talk about, but I think it is important enough to repeat that you get it to your teams. We have had such financial success at the upper echelons of our business, particularly people in this room or people who have earned the right to be in this room, that now it's very easy for us to get enamored and fixated on the new car, the shredded mortgage, the potential vacation home or paying off the college tuition, like all these things that are sort of fundamentals of network marketing, and we can get enamored of them, and then it's very attractive to people who wake up in the morning and they're like, oh my God, I've got so much debt, I don't know how I'm going to put my kid through school, I really would like to own a Maserati, I wonder how I could have that someday, and they have these problems, and they're like, okay, oh, I can do that, I can sell whatever, I see that you're getting a second car, and you're paying cash for it. How can I do that? And you're like, well, you sell what's in this box. See what's in this box. And before you can even say what's in the box, you're like, I'll sign up. I'll be a distributor for that. And they've never created a belief in what's in that box. It has to start there. So, and that's frankly going to be the theme of this. And I don't want you to wait for us to talk about it tomorrow. Start training your teams in every Facebook post and Instagram post and phone call that you have from now on, to make sure your teams understand that the point of this, the substance of this, is what's special. The substance of this is why it can be a multi-billion-dollar company and a multi-billion-dollar opportunity that people can leave full-time jobs for and have confidence that there's an opportunity there. And I'll show you some graphs tomorrow that prove that what we are doing has never been done in network marketing in North America, and it's so substantial. But you, as leaders, capital L, capital E, capital A, capital D, capital E, capital R, capital F.
It's like an 8.
Oh, thank you. As leaders, have got to carry that message, and it cannot, the tip of the spear cannot be about their wallet or the points. The tip of the spear has to be about the challenge group, about the Challenge Tracker app, about drinking that shake and experiencing what it's like, and the confidence to say, if you don't get results, you get your money back. That is the substance and the promise of this. And if we don't start with that, if we don't get back to that, because I think we got a little too enamored with how awesome the financial opportunity is, and then we start to create this thing. And what the, I'm doing it all, but anyway, I'm just going to do it. Because what happens is, sorry guys, what happens is, so people get enamored of the financial opportunity, and so they want to be distributors. They're like, oh my God, I want to pay off I want a Corvette. You know, whatever they want. I want to pay off my mortgage. I want to put my kids through college, which is totally fine. But if that's the way they started, without a belief in the product, when they get to the end of that first month and they get the next, is it $15.95 they pay? Everyone? So they get to that next $15.95, they're like, I didn't even make that much this month. This thing is a bunch of horse crap. Like, I'm not making any money. That's because they have no belief in the box. They've got to believe so much in the box that the money will come, that has to be secondary to the fact that they're going to experience this product with substance, with passion, and be able to share it. The other story that I told in Pittsburgh, I was reading a book. We all do a personal development. One of the things I do is personal development about being a CEO. And I'm reading, I think it's called Shoe Company. It's Phil Knight's biography. And one of the things he said in there, he started out selling, like one of his first jobs, entrepreneurial jobs, was he got the rights to sell Tiger shoes, a Japanese company, Onitsuka or something like that. So he got the rights to market their shoes on the West Coast. He'd never been a salesman, he was a runner, but he had like 1,000 pairs of shoes, and he would load a bunch in his car and go to a track meet. Not a salesman, not a shoe expert, but he just had passion for this. He would go there and he would sell the shoes out. And he was like, how am I doing this? I'm not a salesman. I was terrible at selling. Yeah, I think at one point he had tried to be a stockbroker or something. And he's like, I was just not good at it. And he realized he loved those shoes so much that nobody could resist his passion. They were like, I don't care if they're socks. I'm going to run in those things. Like he literally, I highlighted it. It was my belief. That's what created the sales. And I was like, man, that is it right there. It doesn't matter what you're selling. If you believe in it strongly enough, you will generate transactions. And that belief comes from using that product. So when we see the Shakeology retention slipping a little bit, or Shakeology starts slipping a little bit, and then we do the research into why that's happening, it's because we're bringing in distributors so that somebody can get to Emerald, so that somebody else can get to Diamond, rather than bringing in customers and making sure they use these products because they want to feel healthy and they want to feel good about themselves. It's such a simple, like if we were playing, you ever watch somebody do Rubik's Cube? And they're like if I do Rubik's Cube, I'm like, I just can't do it. And then you watch somebody who's like, right? That's what this solution is. We can Rubik's Cube this business and just go, substance. Just get people to use the product and believe in it. Know what Shakeology is about. Know what the boosts are about. Post not just the fact that you're drinking it. It always cracks me up. I have to be critical of Instagram, and I'm sure many of us do it as well. People talk about their passion for coffee with such outrageous, iconic coffee. And then I see them go, I had my shake today, whatever. So like it's cool that they posted about their shake, but this thing is formulated with love and power and superfoods and adaptogens and protein and fiber, and it's just unbelievable what's in there. And I had my shake. And then, but coffee. It's Monday. Coffee? Like what? Like what? So we need to switch that around. Rubik's Cube it around. Teach your teams. If you want to be elite in this business, I don't care so much about your advancement team volume or your rank. What I care about is that you have built a team that generates customers that come into this, that create belief systems. That's what this weekend is about. That's what this business is about. So the reassurance I can give you is, I promise you, we will get through this year. This is the end of the year. We always know the cycle will be difficult in the last 6 months, but it's been a difficult year, and we always know we have a difficult year in an election/Olympics year, and we have seen our business mature to the extent to the size where it's very difficult for us to manage the message with the same direct input-output, meaning we need you guys to maintain the message and the center of the message as strongly as we used to be able to do when we had 50,000 coaches. When we had 50,000 coaches and 3,000 of them would show up to Summit, man, we could almost have personal conversations with everybody. Now we got to cross our fingers and we do a surge, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, or Super Saturday, and people get bored, and it sounds repetitive, and it's sort of, okay, I get it, and a new product, and that. No. The substance is as important to understand and lead with today as it was when we started this thing 9 years ago. Okay, question number 2.
That was a good question. Look at that.
There's your question.
Question number.
Doug, over, do you see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows back? No? Forward. There you go.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name and what's your rank and how much are you earning?
Well, you really want to know. So with what we really talked about, which is what we are really here for and the belief in the business. And shying away from the multi-level marketing stigma of being distributors and maintaining our message. Has there been any consideration in reevaluating the elite recognition system? So it's not as much based on,
So it doesn't point you in the wrong, incentivize the wrong behavior.
Yes.
right, because sometimes I feel as a coach that if I'm not focused on recruiting and bringing in new coaches that are bringing in volume, that it, like perhaps, am I?
Yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah,
So,
I just feel like it's more focused on recruitment to get to the elite status as a coach
yeah,
than it is on what we are really out to do.
yeah.
I got top on the wall at all, so that was really.
No.
I'm like that person that just watches. I never talk.
It's a great question, and as a matter of fact, we're probably going to spend about 2 hours today talking to the CAB about it, to the Coach Advisory Board. It's something that I think that always we look at our recognition programs and we say, we create recognition programs ideally to motivate behavior. And it's something that we have to always be reflective on in terms of, are those behaviors that we're motivating the right behaviors? Is it influencing our behaviors? And so I think that the elite program is one that we do look at, or have been looking at, and talking about, saying, do we make a wholesale change? Do we make a tweak to it? What do we do? Because we do know that there is a focus in the field to say, I gotta just focus on recruiting so I can get my elite points. And it is interesting though, because that's the practice that some have developed, but at its core, the elite program doesn't have to be that way. So it doesn't have to be the fact that we're recruiting for numbers. It's been sort of, there's been some kind of shift to that, because the reality is that, ATV is a way that you get that. And the way you do that is by building strong foundation, is by building productive coaches in there. Success Club. We were talking in the CAB yesterday. I wish you could all be in the CAB, because there's such great discussions that we have with those 8 coaches. But we were talking about this very thing and the sort of the pressure to recruit and build teams. And the reality is that to grow our business, you do have to recruit, but it's about recruiting the right type of people. And it might mean that instead of bringing in 10 people, I can bring in 3 quality people and get the same results and get the same, I might bring in 20 people and only 1 or 2 of them are going to ever hit Success Club. And yet I have to spend the effort bringing in the 20 people, training the 20 people to get the 2 that are going to be there. And I think that what we have to do is really, is focus on, in that process of enrolling a coach, that development process of a person to the point when they're ready to become a coach, that if I bring them in at the right time, when they're already an advocate for the product, the probability that those people are going to be already advocating the product when they join, the probability that those people are going to become get into Success Club and earn you elite points are way higher than pulling people in. So again,
We've seen that it really hasn't resulted in that because we started to shift our thinking. So we realized we have to realign, some of that, and we're looking at ways to do that. So I think you'll see something coming here in the next little bit.
Great.
One more question? Okay, so we'll go with Marisa, and maybe she'll ask an easy one we can get to.
My question is, have you thought about creating challenge packs with different products besides just Shakeology and a workout program? Because I know we lost some of our continuity products like vitamins and bars and stuff like that, because I think a lot of people aren't going to kind of be advocates of those products because they don't equal Success Club points. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a tightrope, because we want the business to stay simple, and we actually feel like, in general, in fact, one of our concerns with the challenge pack construct was when we added 3-day refresh as an option to the front end of it, and then also created the performance packs across the board with the Beachbody Performance line, that we were complicating it for the brand new coach to come in and be like, I don't know which one to advocate. So we're still working that out and trying to figure out what is the simplest model so that somebody's like, okay, I understand what you did with me, now let me just do it with the next person. That replicates. It doesn't mean that there aren't options then for people to supplement and complement how they, what tools they use to achieve their results, but that fundamentally as a company, the message is that we believe that a daily dose of dense nutrition in a world where the food chain is not the same level of nutrition as it used to be, the quality of soil that the plants grow and the vegetables and all that stuff is not the same. Access to adaptogens and phytonutrients are not as easily achieved as one might imagine just from a healthy diet, so that putting Shakeology at the center of that story made sense, and it helped us achieve some simplicity. At the same time, we are constantly looking at what can improve upon that, or what can create flexibility, so that what happens is there's infinite variables in terms of how something can be sorted to appeal to everybody or to somebody. So this is how we look at the advent of our digital offering in Beachbody On Demand, and how somebody, again, you'll learn a little bit more tomorrow on that, but how somebody integrates with Beachbody On Demand to find a program that's right for them, and how that works with nutrition, and then Shakeology, or a consumable, and the peer support from you. And we're constantly trying to find both simplicity at the same time that we can appeal to diversity. It's a very, so the answer is yes, but not something that we're very ambitious about shaking it up and wanting to make this a complete confusing business, which we tend to do.
Yeah, I think
That's my tendency.
I was going to say, for way back when, before there were challenge packs, it was really interesting because part of what brought challenge packs along were that we had this big catalog. We had, when you look at Beachbody.com, there's all these products, there's both nutritional, and when we started the business, we were kind of expecting coaches to be catalog people. And the reality is that it was just so, the business was too difficult to explain, and so we simplified that down into challenge packs, and that's really when we saw the business start to grow. So I do think that just that notion of keeping the business simple.
We also saw that people tend to sell what they do.
Yeah.
So if we can create a sort of a chain of, I do 21-day fix and I drink Shakeology, you should do 21-day fix and drink Shakeology. That seemed to be an easy message to replicate, particularly with people who are just new to the business. So It's a bit of a tightrope. Okay, this hand up here, I know, 2 minutes, but her hand was so high. Like, nobody can raise their hand that high and not get It's a giant arm.
Just call me giant. Okay, on that note, I just had a suggestion real quick. Since we're all we do what is recognized, Success Club is important, we do that. What if, because I like simple too, what if we did challenge packs the same, but we were able to get more than 2 points per person when they get something else, like for instance, a boost stack or something, that was a point. And we could get it more than one time per person. Because I feel like sometimes since you max out at 2 points, you're like, on to the next person. Okay, see ya. Like, I can't get any more points from you. That mentality. And
Yeah,
we could.
so so it's absolutely on the table of things that we're discussing. So I would say, you know, like right now, we're discussing for ways to complement our existing Success Club program to encourage continued engagement with those customers, so that it's not just sell the product, move on, but actually continue with those. So that's great. It's things that, again, if you were at the CAB meeting this afternoon, you'll hear discussions about that.
So I have so little time, can I just finish it? So, as I said, the most important thing of what we talk about today, or my goal of this specific 45 minutes, is that you guys feel compelled to be back here, to do what it takes to get back here to this specific session. Because next time we all get together at leadership, whoever's here, I actually want to have a toast to you. And we're calling it the Repeat Elite. And what that means is, everybody who achieved Elite this year, whether they're here or not, who achieves Elite again next year, is going to get a personalized champagne flute that we'll give to you at this session. And you can put champagne in it or sparkling cider.
I think we're gonna have a little before at the elite session. We're gonna have a little special toast.
So we are going to toast to the fact that you made it through what is a turbulent year where there's lots of questions about how good things are going, but you're going to have this trophy of a champagne flute to be able to toast to each other that we made it through, and this time next year we're going to celebrate the fact that you are Repeat Elite. So I hope you go for it. I hope you get 14 to go for it. All right.